You know, DC has good movies too, so let's talk about them, shall we? Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 favorite DC movies. Yes, Wonder Woman just came out. I think you all know, I think you all saw, and I think you all loved it. If you didn't, what's wrong with you? Yes, to celebrate Wonder Woman, a finally great movie in the DC cinematic universe. Finally. Anyways, to celebrate Wonder Woman, I thought I'd give my top 10 personal favorite DC movies. Yes, this is not DCEU movies. Yes, they're included in this as well. I'm including, though, every DC movie. Every DC movie that is out there, whether it's animated, live action, straight to DVD, I'm including every single one of them. This is my top 10 favorite DC movies. Yes, I'm finally going to talk some positivity about DC because DC does have a lot of great films, and I'm here to celebrate those great films by giving this top 10 list. So let's get started. Here's my top 10 favorite DC movies. And before top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. I'm Batman. Anyways, in my honorable mentions are Batman Returns, The Dark Knight Rises, Swamp Thing, Assault on Arkham, Batman Under the Red Hood, Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2, and Batman and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero. All great films, just couldn't make the top 10 list, but what did make my top 10 was my number 10, and my number 10 is this year's amazingly animated film, The Lego Batman Movie. Yes, The Lego Batman Movie. Who would have thought Will Arnett would be a great Batman? Well, I did when I saw him in 2014's Lego Movie, but even before that, I never thought Will Arnett could play Batman. And he can't, but he can play him in animated form. Yes, he did an amazing job in the 2014 Lego Movie. He almost stole that entire film. And that film itself is freaking amazing. Sheer genius. Phil Lord, Chris Miller did a spectacular job with that film. But the Lego Batman Movie, I was curious. I'm like, because it doesn't have Phil Lord and Chris Miller directing this movie. So I thought, like, can this movie be good? And it was so solid. This is probably one of my favorite animated films that's came out this year so far. It is solidly written, wonderfully executed, and just so funny. It is laugh out loud hilarious. The first 55 minutes of the film is non-stop jokes, but then in the third act, it turns into a very hard-hitting action-adventure movie. It has a lot of stakes, has a lot of heart, and has a lot of great character arcs. And yeah, the movie is really well done. Again, Will Arnett did an amazing job voice acting Lego Batman, and it's Lego Batman. And this Lego animated Batman has so much depth. It has such a great character arc in this movie. It's better than most Batmans we've seen in Batman movies like Val Kilmer and George fucking Clooney. Like, Will Arnett did an amazing job. He put so much depth into the voice acting in Batman. Michael Cera was great also as Robin. He had friggin' Ray Fiennes as Alfred. He had Rosario Dawson as Barbara. Just the whole cast was great. The animation was great. The action was great. The comedy was spot on. And yeah, it's just an amazing movie, and it's my 10th favorite DC movie on Batman. Coming number 9 is, speaking of some more animated films, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I'm ashamed because this movie did poorly in the box office. It didn't make a lot of money in the box office, and I'm not saying my money would have made any difference, but honestly, I deserved to see this movie on the big screen. Like, I don't know why I didn't go see this movie in theaters. I should have. I had one chance to do it, and I didn't take it, and I hate myself for it. Anyways, this movie's great. I love it. Kevin Conroy has always been one of my favorite Batmans. He does an amazing job with the voice acting in this film. It has a great twist I will not dare spoil. I love the villain of the Phantasm. I love seeing Mark Hamill's Joker in this movie. It's got a great story, an amazing atmosphere, solid direction. It is just a fantastic film, and it's probably the best animated DC movie I've ever seen. It's Mask of the Phantasm. It's just amazing. Coming number 8 is Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Yes, I like Superman 2, the Richard Lester cut, because basically Superman 1 and 2 is just like one big movie. The Donner cut just feels like a more narratively structured film. It has a better narrative structure. Like, Superman 2 has a lot of elements that just don't work. There's some moments that are incredibly corny. There's some scenes that are just not needed. The pacing does feel off. The Donner cut flows better, especially with the first movie. And yeah, I like this second one I like this second one better as the Donner cut. Again, the Lester movie's good, but the Donner cut is much better. I love the movie itself, though. I love the story. I love that Superman takes away his powers to be with Lois Lane. I love Terrence Stamp as Zod. You will bow down before me, kneel before Zod. And yeah, it's dated and it's a bit cheesy at times, but it's still a great action film. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite Superman movies. Not my favorite, but one of them. Coming number 7 is Watchmen. Yes, Watchmen. Someone's picking off costume heroes. Again, I've talked to death about this movie. This is actually a Zack Snyder superhero film that I actually love. It's so great. I love how it's loyal to the source material. It forgot a lot of things, but it's still pretty loyal. The opening scene is one of my favorite opening scenes to a superhero film. I love these heroes, these anti-heroes. I enjoy Night Owl. I enjoy Rorschach. Miss Jupiter is even pretty good. It's one of the few good performances by Marlon Ackerman. Patrick Wilson, Jackie Earle Haley, Matthew Good. I like Billy Crudup as Dr. Manhattan. There's a little bit too much blue penis in the film, but it's still a really good movie. Visually stunning. It feels like the graphic novels come to life in this film. That's one thing Zack Snyder was always good at. He's a great visual storyteller. He's a little sloppy when it comes to certain films, mostly Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, but with Watchmen, I thought he did a very good job with its action, its story, and its characters, and yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite superhero films. Coming number 6 is the original Superman. Yes, da 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 da. Dun, dun, dun. The score is amazing. The characters are amazing. It is a Superman movie brought to the screen. I always wish there would be a truly remarkable Superman movie, but this is close enough. This is a great film. Richard Donner's direction is fantastic. The John Williams score is amazing. I thought Christopher Reeve will always be the best Superman. He will always be Superman to me. Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor is great. Marlon Brando is amazing as Jor-El, even though he cannot pronounce Krypton properly. The planet Krypton. It's Krypton, goddammit. I like Margaret Kindler. I love Jackie Cooper. Everyone, Ned Beatty. Everyone's great in this film. It's got great comedy, great action, and just wonderful, timeless characters. And it's just a proper Superman movie, and we rarely get those. Coming number 5 is V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta is so good. This movie is directed by James McTeague, and this movie is written by the Wachowskis. This is probably one of the best movies that the Wachowskis had anything to do with. Yes, this movie's even better than The Matrix. I love the story. I love the politics. I love how it deals with social commentary and media and anarchy and all that stuff. And yeah, I love the character V, what he stands for, and what kind of hero he is and stuff. Hugo Weaving did an amazing job. Natalie Portman probably gives one of the best performances I've ever seen her give in her career. This and Black Swan are her 2 best performances in her whole filmography. She's fantastic in this movie. I love its story. I love its writing. I love its action scenes, but in the core, it is a dramatic thriller. It is a political dramatic thriller. It is not really an action movie, but when the action is in the film, it works really well, and it's really stylized and very well choreographed, and again, it's a well-directed, well-written film, and definitely, again, one of my favorite superhero movies. Coming number 4 is Batman. Yes, 1989's Batman. This movie's so great. Michael Keaton will always be one of my favorite Batmans. Again, I love Batman so much. Batman, I'm not wearing hockey pads. That's not Michael Keaton. You ever dance with the devil in the pale blue light? That's Michael Keaton. I love this movie. I love the Prince songs. I love Jack Nicholson's Joker. Michael Keaton's great. I even love Kim Basinger as Vicky Vale. She's great. The action's great. The Batman uniform just looks fantastic in this movie. Probably the best Batman outfit in any Batman movie. The Batmobile looks fantastic. The score, Danny Elfman's score, is amazing. Tim Burton's direction's so well done. Again, Batman Returns was also great, but that was more of a Tim Burton film than a Batman film. This movie is actually in the mixture of both a Tim Burton film and a Batman film, and since I love Batman and I love Tim Burton, of course I love this movie. Coming number 3 is Batman Begins. Yes, this is an origin story done perfectly. I love the origin story. The first act of this movie is almost too good. The first act of this movie is probably the best first act of any superhero movie almost ever made. The origin story of Bruce Wayne is done so well. It's so loyal to the source material. It's so well acted, so well directed, so well written, so well executed, so well paced. It's perfection, the first act in this movie. when he comes back to Gotham, it's still really cool. The second act, seeing him become Batman, get all the gadgets from Lucius, it's so awesome. And I even enjoy the third act when Ra's al Ghul shows himself. You find out it was really Liam Neeson, not Ken Watanabe. And then all the freaking pipes are bursting, everyone's going crazy. You got freaking Scarecrow breathing fire and all that weird, crazy shit. Cillian Murphy's great, Liam Neeson's great, Christian Bale's a fantastic Batman. I didn't even mind Katie Holmes. Maybe Gyllenhaal was better, but Katie Holmes was still great. The movie was so well written. Christopher Nolan did an amazing job writing and directing this film. This was the Batman we needed, because Batman and Robin shit all over Batman, and Batman Begins return the form of what Batman really is, which is awesome, and this movie is awesome. Coming number 2 is Wonder Woman. Yes, Wonder Woman. Yes, yes, I have that like soundtrack like in my head. I downloaded it on my phone and I've been listening to it like all day. Such an amazing score. The soundtrack to this movie is just brilliant. Gal Gadot's performance is amazing. Chris Pine is amazing. I even enjoy its sort of generic villains. I still think they work for the story. Again, I did a whole review of this movie, so if you want to know my thoughts and opinions of Wonder Woman, you all know that I loved it. This is probably like my third favorite movie of 2017 as of now. The movie's fantastic. This is the Wonder Woman movie that we needed. This is finally a truly great film in the DCEU, and yeah, please, it's in theaters right now. Please go pay money and see this movie, because we may get a Wonder Woman sequel, because we can't rely on the Justice League. So all our faith now is in Wonder Woman, because this is the only great film in the DCEU as of now. But yeah, still, this movie is fantastic. And my number 1 favorite DC movie of all time is The Dark Knight. Do I need to say anything else? I think I've talked about The Dark Knight in like 50 videos. I can't say anything that a million people haven't said already. The direction's fantastic. Heath Ledger's performance is freaking perfection. Christian Bale's fantastic. Aaron Eckhart, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Gary Oldman. The action is great. The set pieces are fantastic. The look of Gotham is fantastic. The Hans Zimmer score is amazing. Every scene with the Joker is so quotable, between it's why so serious, or, you know, how I got these scars, and all that great shit. This movie is just fantastic. This is the definition of a perfect Batman movie. It's a great superhero film. It's a great heist film. This is a great film all in all, and it's hands down the best DC movie out there. It's my favorite. So yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite DC movies. So in the comment section below, please tell me, what are your top 10 favorite DC movies of all time? Just include all your favorite DC movies, whether it's animated, straight to DVD, doesn't matter. What are your top 10 favorite DC movies of all time? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and join the dark side.